Hello dudes and dudettes, welcome to another episode of the WoW series, and this is basically episode 6.13, 6.13. Now, as you saw there in the intro, I decided to just show you the lovely little sunset of Mulgore. This is what I like about WoW, is that if you go to Mulgore and you see the sunset, it's very nice, and also Westfall, because basically back in like vanilla times or whatever, the soundtrack was basically the same, but now it's changed when Cataclysm came out. But yeah, that was just to give you a bit of memory of basically WoW Vanilla and also the Burning Crusade. Anyway, in this video we are going to be going to the Southern Barrens, and as you can see, we're already at Southern Barrens actually, because during my movement from the Arathi Highlands to here was basically off camera. So basically, I hearthed back to Durotar, and I surprisingly was back at the den, and then I ran all the way to Razor Hill, got the flight to Mulgore, which was basically what you just saw there, and then I started recording, and then that was it. So as you can see, now we're going to be collecting some quests here. Now, for some reason, I do decline some of these quests in this big outpost here because they're absolutely glitched. And sorry if I slur my words or whatever, it's because I've been really tired for the past few days due to work commitments. So yeah, anyway, as you can see, we're going to basically leave the outpost just for a little minute and then go into this crater where the Northwatch Hold are trying to battle with the Orcs, and the Orcs are trying to battle with the Northwatch Hold. And eventually, just to get some experience, I do kill some of these mobs, and obviously some of them are basically in groups and everything, so I do get killed in some parts, but obviously I do heal myself up. As you can see there, I'm using a few heals on the healing surge. And yeah, so all the quests we're going to do basically in the Southern Barrens are going to be in this video, and then we'll be moving over, not to the hinterlands, but to Dustwallow Marsh, because I do know that there's a few quests over there. Basically after, well, I realised that when I did that video earlier on, well, from this video that you just saw now, basically the next video that you're going to see when I recorded is when I was in Dustwallow Marsh, and then I basically had like loads of quests, and I'll explain that in more detail in the next video. So at the moment, yeah, so as you can see there, as I was killing those mobs over there, I basically declined those 3 quests because I was just thinking, well, it's a bit of redundancy because of the fact that I've had this before when I was in Durotar, but or it may have been Durotar, it may have been the Northern Barrens or somewhere, where you had to basically get like this item for the quest or whatever, and then you just start killing XYZ, and then all of a sudden, well, you know, it's just going to be a case of, oh, right, okay, this is going to be just basically a glitched quest, which it was. And then I go to this small outpost here, and some of these quests were achievable, let's just say, instead of valid. Well, they are valid, it's just that they're achievable, let's say, in this particular private server. So as you can see, we're going to go into this encampment here and just kill a few of these spies or troops, let's say. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to basically burn or blow up 4 catapults from this clan or group, actually, this big organization called the Northwatch Hold, and basically we have to kill a few of these guys who are basically trying to get into Mulgore, and they buried up they basically built that huge gate in Cataclysm, basically to protect the flood of the flames from Deathwing. If you remember back in Cataclysm, then you'll understand why that gate was put there. But obviously I was just going to explain it anyway because of the fact that I haven't really been to the Southern Barrens for a while. But I do recognise that gate. So yeah, I mean, obviously if you remember Vanilla and Burning Crusade, that gate wasn't there. You could just basically go to the Southern Barrens, or the Barrens in that particular circumstance, before Deathwing split it in 2. So yeah, this is basically all the different changes that you are going to see basically within this video. So as you can see, we're going to just continue in the Southern Barrens. We are going to basically move over to Dustwallow Marsh soon. But at this moment in time, as you can see, I'm just checking to see what level the hinterlands was, and it was basically level 30 to 35, so it's basically the same as the Arathi Highlands, but it's 1 level up, well, 5 levels up let's just say in that particular circumstance. So as you can see, we're going to pick up a few of those quests, and there we are. We dinged, and I think we're level 38, I believe. Yeah, 38, because I noticed that in the last video I did say that when I got to 37, I was basically going back and forth in the Earthy Highlands, and I couldn't be bothered because of the fact that all the quests there were green and grey, and I couldn't be bothered to, pick them up and just get some XP from that because there wasn't very much anyway. So as you can see, we're going to go to a place called Camp Tarajo. Now this used to be basically a Tor encampment, but because of the conflict with Deathwing and everything, the North Watchhold decided to take over, and now we had to kill a few of those looters. And now we're going to hand in the quest back to the Tauren or Orc or whatever you just saw there. One of the two, I don't know. And now we're going to fly back to the hold where the quest that we recently got from somewhere else had to be handed in here. So obviously this is basically, obviously that doesn't make any sense. But obviously we had a quest from that small encampment to go back to this large encampment, and we pick up a few things along the way. And just to note, guys, that because there was a few bugs in this. Well, not bugs, there was a few glitches due to my internet connection. There will be some jump cuts in this video, so don't worry about that because of the fact that I solved all the situations, and now we're going to run all the way to Dustwallow Marsh. Now, I do try and get owned by some alliance characters, so you'll see that in the video. One was called, one was a paladin actually, because as soon as I picked up, as soon as I vended some items, this alliance came. As you can see, there you go, and he's just trying to kill me as a paladin because I recognise the stun ability. But then he got killed by something, I don't know. It might have been me, or it may have been one of the guards. Anyway, he's killed now, and then off camera, I think on another video, yeah, it was basically the start of the other video that I basically cut out, was another alliance character called Cheshire. Now that's pretty weird, even though I think they were trying to refer to the Cheshire Cat, if you remember in Alice in Wonderland. But yeah, all right, okay, here we go. So we reached level 40, sorry, and this is where it bugged out. So I had to basically pick up the quests again. Yeah, so this was basically the first bug that I discovered, or glitch, let's say. You can call it whatever you want, a bug, glitch, I don't really care. But eventually we sorted out those things, and there you go, there's the bug. So obviously it just basically stopped there for a split second, and then I had to run back and hand in those quests again. And I do have an error message there saying about Microsoft out thing, but obviously you don't need to worry about that because, of course, I can just skip it on that one. Yeah, so obviously there was a few error messages on my PC. So obviously because this was recorded in windowed, it wasn't in full screen. You'll do see some errors pop up. Obviously it was just because of a corruption in the OneDrive. I don't know what it is, but other than that, let's just ignore that for now and move on. So that's it. And here we are. We're now in the Dustwallow Marsh. Now we go to that encampment that you just saw there when we picked up a lot of quests. That's basically the place where I told you about. And yeah, sorry about that. That was basically me about to cough because, of course, I've been talking for quite a bit. So all I'm going to do now is just leave you to watch. I can't remember. Something. Storm Striker. I don't know. I've forgotten the name of my character. It'll come up anyway. If you could hear that in the background, that was just me having a glass of orange juice, just to get my throat back. Well, just to get my speech back, not my throat back. I've already got my throat. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm losing my train of thought here. Yeah. So anyway, I think it's called Strike Fighter. I've literally forgotten what the name is. I'm just going to have a look right now. Who it is? I think it's Strike Fighter. I don't know. Might as well check the footage actually later on in this time. But anyway, as you can see, we're now going to go into this Bloodhoof. Well, actually, in this Tauren encampment, because what we have to do is collect 4 notes and then transform them into like a plan. Because they are a plan, it's just that they've been split up into 4 chapters, and the spirits in this encampment can or have the ability to heal. So basically, they can be restored to full health in like a few seconds. But obviously, if you try and nuke them down like that using the Storm Strike, which is what I'm using, it's pretty easy to do if you know what you're doing. Now, in this video, I do actually get ganged up by quite a lot of Taurens because of the fact that I was just trying to basically hurry it along or whatever, and they just decided to just think, nope, I'm going to go and attack this guy here, who is basically intervened on our site. There you go. So there's basically 3 Taurens that I had to kill in one go, but they're all nuked. Actually, we nuked them all down, so obviously it's okay, and we can leave the encampment now. You probably have seen on this video that I do get trapped by these nature elementals or whatever, or nature disemboweled beasts or whatever, giants. I don't know. It's a very weird name for, you know, the mobs in WoW, but I don't really care. Strike Power, that's his name. I've just been looking at the thing. Yeah, Strike Power. This is my Orc Shaman, and as you can see, we're going to go into this cave and kill a couple of these spiders. Now, these are huge, believe me. I mean, that spider there, that's very huge. It's a tarantula. That's basically, I think, the tallest or the biggest spider you'd ever see. Basically, my brother. No, I'm joking. That was basically just a reference to my Steam name for those guys who know me as Spider Rebel. Then yeah. I mean, yeah, my name is Spider Rebel on the YouTube channel as well because I'm called the Spider Vids, but you know, that's where it's from anyway. So anyway, here we go. We're going to hand in a few quests here, and then we'll continue our plow through the Dustwallow Marsh. We'll plow through Dustwallow Marsh, and yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Peace out, guys.